I'm going to do a bit of slides and then I'm going to do a very short video as well, which will give you a good overview demo in terms of what we are talking about. So it's going to be a mix of both, but the demo is going to be really short, just to give you a glimpse of what IBM Business Analytics is all about. So what is our vision from IBM standpoint, right? So traditionally, we used to have point solutions covering multiple areas of data and AI portfolio, right from data management to data governance to data science to AI. We used to have point solutions. Now, the way we are headed is what you see on the right hand side, where everything is offered into an integrated and consolidated platform, which we refer to as Cloud Pak for Data, which runs on OpenShift on a container platform. And all of the products, what used to be traditional point solution, are offered on the same platform as services. And our clients have the option to pick and choose the services what they want to have at any point in time based on specific requirements, and they can start wherever they want, right? And at any point in time they can expand the list of services as they go along, as the level of maturity evolves within the organization. Now, uh, as we are headed in that journey, this is what we describe as our artificial intelligence ladder. In other words, we call it as AI ladder. So there is no AI without a proper architecture or an information architecture foundation. This is something that we strongly believe in. So the first step is always to collect the data. So there is no AI, there is no machine learning without data. That's the most important thing, and we need to make sure the data is simple and accessible. The next thing is obviously to organize the data. We need to have a governed data. We need to have a trusted data. We need to make sure the data is of good quality. It's well cataloged and there is data lineage in place from source to target. So this is the second pillar, what we refer to as organize. Then comes analyze, right, where we develop all kinds of machine learning models depending on the business requirements and business priorities. And the last step is to operationalize AI by infusing AI applications. So this is where business analytics fits in. This is where our customer care portfolio fits in, our risk and compliance solution fits in. Everything is at the top layer, which we refer to as infuse. But of course, the foundation is going to be extremely critical if businesses have to get here. Now, the journey where that I'm essentially talking about is like this, right? So what we are trying to do is we are trying to eliminate data silos. We are trying to connect to data wherever it resides. We are not trying to physically move the data, because the reality is businesses have data in multiple data sources as of today, and we should be able to connect to the data where it resides to be able to get the required insights. This is the first and foremost thing what we are trying to change, right? The second is, of course, to have a well-governed data with a proper lineage and quality. And of course, then comes all of the machine learning and artificial intelligence, what you do once you have the necessary foundation in place. And last but not the least, we are not tied to any particular cloud, right? So what we are telling you essentially is we can run anywhere. We can run on IBM cloud, we can run on third-party clouds, or we can run within our clients' data centers. So it's pretty much a flexible solution in terms of deployment, and we are very flexible based on what our clients' priorities are. Now, what are the different solutions that we provide as part of our data and AI portfolio? So as part of this AI ladder, which I talked about from collect to infuse, in the collect space, we do the data virtualization. So this is the capability I was referring to, where we are able to connect to data wherever it resides without having to physically move the data. Then there is real-time streaming and ingestion. All of this is part of collect. Then organize is the pillar where we transform the data, ensure there is necessary quality checks in place, there is governance in place, and so on and so forth. Then comes to the analyze and infuse, where all of the machine learning can be done, and the business analytics. I think these are the two key pillars, and business analytics fits within the infuse stage of the AI ladder. And all of this runs on top of common core services on Red Hat OpenShift. So think of it as one common platform which runs on Red Hat OpenShift, which can be deployed on any cloud, including third-party clouds, as well as our clients' data centers. And on day one, as I said, our clients don't need to have all of this. They can start from wherever they want, whatever the current priorities and requirements are, and they can expand as they go. Now, coming to the topic of business analytics, which is this area that I'm essentially talking about. Let me try and get this out right. The business analytics, right? That's going to be the focus of this presentation. So this is just an overview in terms of where we are headed as IBM, right? So business analytics is no longer a nice to have, as we speak to our clients today across the globe. It's an imperative, and it's extremely critical for businesses today to have this in place. And why is it important, right? So businesses on a daily basis, they need to do various things, and these are the three key things what they need to do. First thing is they need to create their plans, they need to create forecasts, they need to create the budgets, right? That's the first and foremost thing that businesses need to do, and that needs to be centralized and it needs to be well trusted, right? Once that is done, then business performance needs to be analyzed, right? Whether the performance of the business is up to the expectation. So that's where a deep dive analysis comes in, which is offered through business intelligence, right? And based on the findings that you have, businesses have to constantly learn and adapt, right? So all of the three critical business imperatives that I'm talking about, they are facilitated through business analytics. Now, another reason, these are not, IBM's point of view. These are the Forrester and IDC, what they have stated, right? Based on the last couple of years, as things have changed significantly, and as you know, at least in the last 2 years, businesses need to anticipate risks. They need to recover from any kind of disruption, and they need to seize market opportunities depending on what they are and the current state of the market, right? So that's extremely critical, and which is going to be facilitated by business analytics. And then IDC has said by 2025, 60% of G2000 B2B firms are going to be using AI powered applications with access to real-time consumer and enterprise data, primarily to boost sales productivity and overall improving sales by 10%, right? So again, this proves how critical business analytics is from an overall business health standpoint. Now, business analytics is not for specific departments within the organization. We want to be very clear about it. So it is for all lines of businesses, right? Across industries. It's for sales, finance, IT, marketing, HR, and operations. All of the business functions or departments are going to get value out of business analytics, and a lot of them are getting value as of today. Now, this is again a report that came from Ventana, based on research that was published recently. What are the top 5 types of analytics, for which there is market demand, right? The first one is going to be, of course, reports. Majority of them have said reports because everyone needs access to business reports. Then the dashboards, right? So which is more for senior executives and management, where a web link can be published. Then ad hoc query and visualization and discovery. These are self-service analysis capabilities. These are critical because for business intelligence on business analytics, you don't go to IT and ask them to provide something every time you want to do something. As businesses or as line of business owners should be able to do all of these by themselves. That's what we are trying to do when we talk about ad hoc query and visualization and discovery. Last but not the least, planning and building what if scenarios so that you can plan better in terms of what you can expect in the future, right? So these are the 5 critical types of analytics that were identified, and IBM offers all of these in an integrated manner, which we refer to as our business analytics portfolio. Now, one thing that you will see, right? Sorry. A lot of data what resides within the organization today, they are siloed and they are underutilized by decision makers, right? It resides at multiple places. Businesses don't have access to the trusted data. This is the challenge that we see across industries as of today, both in industries as well as in public sector organizations across the globe, not just in the Gulf region, right? Now, the reason for that is what we typically see is the business owners or people who are responsible for using actionable insights to take business decisions. They have access to some form of data and they contribute to 25% of the overall workforce. Then there are data explorers who contribute to around 15%. They are more hands-on in terms of doing data analysis. And then the data analysts who are responsible for facilitating the data by integrating with multiple sources, they contribute to 8%. And last but not the least, the niche profile, which is data scientists, is responsible for generating forward-looking insights, including predictions, contribute to about 2%. So if you look at it overall, we have about 50% of employees who typically have access to data, and the remaining 50% have access to nothing. So all of them in reality need access to data to make informed business decisions. But this is the gap that we see in the market as of today. And this is what fundamentally everyone is trying to change. Now, what is the expectation versus reality, right? Expectation is for business analytics, all the data is already trustworthy, right? The strategy can be immediately linked to execution as well as we get actionable insights. Line of business is agile. Businesses are able to get access to data and they are able to make decisions themselves without having to go back to IT. And eventually, all of these decisions drive revenue, right? This is the expectation. But the reality is the data is in silos. It's not trustworthy. You don't know which data to trust. What is the right source of information for something? You are not able to quickly react. Businesses are, although they have the data, they are not able to get actionable insights from the data. There is over reliance on IT as of today. Every time a business owner needs something, still we see a lot of requests being sent as emails to IT to get the numbers, right? And inaccuracy of data, forecast, plans that are generated because things are not centralized. This is the reality what we see in today's market, even in some of the leading firms and organizations. So at IBM, what we are trying to do is we are trying to do two things: build a central foundation, a data foundation, which can be trusted. And once the trusted data is established, then we facilitate business analytics on top of that. So the insights that you get is based on trusted data and they become trusted insights. Now, what are we trying to do as IBM Business Analytics is we try to empower every user within the organization, regardless of skill. So a business user with no coding background should be able to get the data that they want and the insights they want. That's number one. Number two is eliminate silos and provide a point of entry for every business and every organization, right? Even though we are living in a siloed world. The third is streamline collaboration. Everyone should participate. It's not about different, some users having access to data and some users not having access to data. Last but not the least, focus. There needs to be clear focus for every organization in terms of where they want to start so that they can grow over time. Now, there are three main pillars that we are referring to as IBM when we talk about business analytics. The first one is the ability to plan, budget, and forecast, right? That's number one. This is the central this is central to everything, right? If you need to have a proper centralized planning, budgeting, and forecasting in place. The second is how can you understand what's the business health overall, right? So that's where business intelligence comes into picture. And the last part, which is around financial consolidation, which is about how financial statements can be closed in compliance with all of the audit requirements and the necessary reporting can be performed. These are the three core pillars that we are referring to from IBM when we talk about IBM Business Analytics. So let's look at the and what are the software solutions? What is our technology stack aligned with these focus areas, right? The first one for planning, budgeting, and forecasting is IBM Planning Analytics, business analytics, intelligence to understand the business health and do deep dive analysis. That's IBM Cognos Analytics. And the last one to do the financial consolidation is IBM Cognos Controller. So these are together the three technology solutions become IBM Business Analytics. Let's look at the first one, which is the planning, budgeting, and forecasting solution, right? Now, every department in the business, right, it's not just restricted to, say, finance. Traditionally, it used to be heavily used by the finance department within any organization, but today every department needs it, be it HR when they want to do any kind of workforce planning, salary plans, the increases, and so on and so forth, IT related to IT budgets, project plans, operations, supply chain, finance. It's heavily used, as I said, in the finance department. The marketing when it comes to campaign plans, revenue outcomes from those marketing activities, and from a sales point of view, sales forecasting, territory planning, and so on and so forth, right? So every these are some of the examples, but and there are generally more than this, right? But these are the core ones where planning, budgeting, and forecasting are extremely critical, right? Now, the challenge that we see in today's market here again is there are multiple data sources from which data is required, and what businesses end up doing is they do things in Excel, right? Some clients have a proper technology to do this, but most of the clients, about half of the clients in today's market, they still do it using spreadsheets, right? So spreadsheets are extremely easy because everyone knows how to use them, right? But the disadvantage is that it's the processes are manual. Everything is going to be siloed because I might be having a forecast and someone else might be having another forecast in an Excel spreadsheet, and things are not integrated and there is no collaboration. If there needs to be collaboration, an email is sent and someone has to provide their inputs, and it becomes really hard to manage. Eventually, you get multiple versions of truth, difficult to maintain, and it's not secure because things are floating around in an Excel file. Now, uh, eventually, the issues that you see is longer planning cycle. Now, why it happens? Because of disconnected processes, because things are not integrated. Contributors cannot work on it in a common and consolidated way. Things are siloed. There is lack of agility. It's going to be extremely slow, and there is lack of confidence in the plans and forecasts that get generated because we don't know whether it has gone through all the required layers of approvals. Now, the critical thing is across all of these line of businesses or departments, integration is going to be the key, right? Things need to be integrated, right? So as I said, why integration is the key. 58% of the mid-sized to large-size companies, they still use spreadsheets, to do this. And there is no collaboration, there is no proper communication among different stakeholders within an enterprise or an organization, right? And what that basically becomes is, if you have a proper integrated approach, plans can be cascaded. So you can create plans in one department and different stakeholders can have visibility to that, so that at an overall level, you have a proper and well-governed plans, budgets and forecasts. That's what we are trying to get to, and that's why integration is the key. So as all of these are going to be integrated, there is going to be a proper organizational strategy alignment. There is going to be overall collaborative decision making. Things are not going to be made in silos, and eventually you're going to start seeing this better business results. This is going to contribute to better business results. Let's put it that way. Now, that's essentially, these are some of the advantages that you get. While Excel might be easy, and flexible, the benefits of moving to a platform is the faster planning cycles. It enables collaboration across different departments. You get one version of truth, right? There are no spreadsheets anymore. It's going to be one version of truth, centralized data models. Different companies can define their own blueprints, and overall, it's going to cost less to maintain this, and it's going to be secure because things are not going to be floating in emails, and they are not going to be sent to unauthorized users. That's something that we are trying to avoid by using a technology to do this. And there is going to be predictive analysis, optimization, AI applications, and all of that are going to be embedded within the application. Now, the second pillar, that this is the first pillar that I was talking about related to planning, budgeting, and forecasting. The second pillar, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I have a nice video which I want to show you as well. So this is around business intelligence. Now, the message from IBM is business intelligence solutions is not just for IT, right? It's going to be for different personas to get actionable insights from data. That's what we define as business intelligence. So the first one is going to be all the consumers with access to different information. What insights can they get about an organization? The second one is going to be around the business analyst, right? Business analysts, these are this is the persona that's going to be responsible for translating data to actionable insights, right? And they are the ones who are going to have hands-on access to data through self-service analytics, right? The third one is going to be the report developers or authors. If there are new custom reports and layouts that need to be generated, they end up doing it. And last but not the least, the data scientists, any forward-looking insights and forecasts that need to be generated or reviewed. These are the this is the persona that typically interacts with the business intelligence platform. Now, the third pillar, which I talked about, is the financial consolidation. So at the, for instance, end of the quarter, when the statements need to be released at an entity level as well as at a group level, organizations can leverage this capability, which is the Cognos controller. It comes with all the self-service capabilities with predefined dimensions. There are, in compliance with all of the audit controls, and you can even distribute reports, right? So this is mainly the financial consolidation solution that we're talking about. As I said, all three contribute or constitute overall IBM Business Analytics solution, right? Now, let me show you a quick video which will also be a demo so that you can look at both the solutions, IBM planning, budgeting, and forecasting solution, as well as sorry, this is not the one. So this is the one here. So yeah, so let me go straight to so this is the three different solutions that we talked about, right? So first, the planning, budgeting, and forecasting solution. That's the first thing that we are going to see, right? So now the plans are dynamic, and there needs to be different contributors from within the organization, right? And they need to have both top down as well as bottom up planning, right? Now, all the plans, budgets, and forecasts are in the form of KPIs, and the actual business performance can be monitored in line with the plan, right? So IBM offers all of this, and I'm going to pause it, in a consolidated user interface where businesses can define their own blueprints, right? Like the way you see here, and they can start maintaining the plans, budgets, and forecasts, and they can also see how changes to one plan is going to cascade changes to all of the other plans, right? So that's something that the businesses can easily maintain. We also provide a sandbox environment to model changes and perform what if analysis so that the actual plans can be generated. This is also part of our capability. And last but not the least, we also provide a Microsoft Excel interface. So for business users who are comfortable using Microsoft Excel interface, we offer this, and this is also integrated with the web interface. So depending on what is convenient for the business users, they can either use the web interface or they can use the Microsoft Excel based interface, right? So this is the overall summary on planning analytics, right? I'm going to pause here. I'm going to illustrate a couple of things. Again, what we're trying to do here is we're trying to eliminate silos. We are trying to create a single version of truth. We are trying to have all the forecasting and machine learning capabilities embedded into the platform. And last but not the least, we are going to facilitate multiple contributors to collaborate and create plans, budgets, and forecasts. These are the four key business challenges that we are trying to address using our planning, budgeting, and forecasting solution, which is IBM Planning Analytics. So the next one that we are going to talk about is the IBM Business Intelligence solution, which is IBM Cognos Analytics, right? So if you look at it, right, the data can be from multiple sources, right? So that's the reality in today's world. So we can connect to any data source. So there are multiple connectors that are available, and we could even combine insights from different data sources, right, and perform a consolidated analysis. So all of the analysis that we are doing, they are not siloed. They are going to be integrated across multiple data sources, and we can discover all of the required insights. We also offer augmented intelligence where, I'm going to pause here because you can ask questions in natural language, like how you see here, right? So for example, show product line by revenue, and it gives you the required insight. So it's not necessary for you to click and run a report to get it. You can ask your questions in natural language as well. That's the augmented intelligence that's built within our business intelligence solution. Then comes the self-service analytics, right? So business users can create their own charts, they can run their own analysis from the user interface, and they don't have to go back to IT to create a dashboard every time they need something. This is one of our core offerings as well, what every business users typically ask for. Then comes the dashboards. These are some of the pre-configured dashboards. We can provide these as web links. So any senior executive within the organization can just click on a link and they get access to all of such dashboards like what you see here, right? This is one of the critical functionalities. Last but not the least is going to be the built-in reports, right, and custom reports. So people can run, they can select the conditions based on which they want to execute a report, and they can get a report out. And these reports can be customized, and the reports can be scheduled so that they get delivered to the mailboxes. Now, another critical function is the integration with machine learning. If you're looking for forecasts and predictions, then we integrate with different IBM platforms such as Watson Studio, Watson Knowledge Catalog, Jupyter Notebooks, so that all of the forecasts and predictions can also be embedded within the business analytics solution, right? So that's a very short demo in terms of the two anchor solutions or key solutions, which is the planning, budgeting, forecasting, and the business intelligence solution. Now, coming back to the presentation, right? So let me see. So this is where we are. So in summary, I'm going to summarize this, right? So our business analytics solution is scalable. So we can get insights very quickly from large volumes of data. That's one of the key differentiators. Second, we focus on actionable insights. It's not just having access to data, but how can you convert data to actionable insights? And we run anywhere, on any cloud, or within clients, or even within clients' data centers, because we're going to be cloud agnostic. This can be a point solution. We also have a software as a service solution on IBM Cloud, and we also have the containerized solution, which we refer to as IBM Cloud Pak for Data, which runs on OpenShift and can be deployed on any third-party cloud as well. And last but not the least, we empower business users to do all of these themselves. So the business analytics is no longer just in the hands of IT, it is in the hands of business to get all the required actionable insights from the data, so that they have all the necessary information to make business decisions. Now, we do all of this is done faster, although the data volumes are continuously increasing, we do it fast, right? We do it in a fairly automated way, because all the insights are at the fingertip of the business. And last but not the least, it is all self-guided, where business users get an interface, a web interface, where they can go and play around with the insights and get the kind of insights that they are looking for. Now, there is a 30-day trial that's available for both. These are the links for both IBM Planning Analytics, as well as IBM Cognos Analytics, right? That kind of summarizes IBM, business analytics portfolio. Now, I also want to mention another point here, focused on what's next, right? Where is IBM headed, and what is something new? Because both the planning analytics and Cognos Analytics, what you saw now, they have been around for years, right? Now it's just a lot of new functionalities and capabilities what we have added in the recent past. Those are the new stuff, but where are we headed next, right? So that's going to be extremely important. Now, still, with all of these solutions available in the market, there are a few challenges that we see, right? So different, even in the same enterprise or organization, our clients have typically invested in multiple business intelligence solutions. We have clients in the same enterprise or organization. We see clients who have invested in Cognos, they have invested in Power BI, they have invested in Tableau, right? And different departments are using different business intelligence applications, right? So what this has resulted in is, even if the same information is available, people are creating multiple reports and dashboards and self-service analytics, because different departments use different technology. This is a challenge that we see in multiple organizations in the region as of today, right? And what IBM is offering in this space to address this is something called IBM Business Analytics Enterprise, where we offer an integrated solution which has three components. The first one is IBM Planning Analytics, which you already saw, IBM Cognos Analytics, the business intelligence solution, which you just saw, and the third part is the IBM Analytics Content Hub. So this is the new thing that we are introducing and packaging within our business analytics portfolio. Now, what is IBM Analytics Content Hub, right? So it's a framework or an interface where we can integrate the reports and dashboards and visualizations from multiple platforms, right? Including third-party contents like Tableau or Power BI, and bring them all into one consolidated user interface. So, and what benefit is it providing to the business, right? It all becomes integrated irrespective of the underlying technology that is being used to execute the report or a dashboard, right? So you can have 5 pieces of content on the landing page of Analytics Content Hub, with a couple of them coming from Cognos, couple of them coming from Power BI, and one coming from Tableau, as an example, right? So what is this Analytics Content Hub? It's a low-code method to discover and build up multiple vendor dashboards into a single dashboard. This is what we are trying to achieve using Analytics Content Hub, right? So the benefit that it is providing, it is making the dashboards and the insights available and accessible to everyone within the organization. Organizations don't have to end up recreating them in multiple technologies, uh, and they don't have to stop any technology and move to a different technology, right? That's another benefit that they get, right? And it's simple administration and unification, because they get to manage everything from one consolidated user interface. So as I said, it's a single entry for multiple platforms. We are trying to consolidate everything to help businesses. It helps in dashboard configuration. Even the new ones, if something needs to be developed, they can be done using Analytics Content Hub. And it provides Netflix like thumbnails, right? So you can have thumbnails like this, showing different areas of the business and different dashboards, and then the user can click on any of these thumbnails, and then it would actually run the dashboard or the report for them, right? And again, the benefit is multiple vendors, dashboards are integrated. Just to summarize, it's easily customizable. If you want to build something new or change something existing, you could do that, and you're trying to mash up everything into one consolidated interface. Now, we have multiple out of the box connectors available with a lot of third party solutions, and we can bring them all into one consolidated platform, and we can also integrate with various content systems. And if we do not have a connector with any specific business intelligence solution, it is also possible to configure a custom connector and bring the content into the analytics content hub. So that's where we are headed, and now we're calling this integrated offering in summary as IBM Business Analytics Enterprise.